Okay, so kind of.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to this webinar on career in procurement and supply chain. In this one, certainly I'm going to blend all my experience of 5 decades after passing from IIT. I've gone through design, my beginning career. I've gone to manufacturing and production. I've gone through technologies. And then I've also gone through supply chain. So if I say out of my 50 years, around 20 years I've gone into the other field, but around 30 years, 3 decades in supply chain. And that's specifically when I went to the US. So when I did my MBA there around, I found supply chain was a really top subject for that. So I'm trying to, and then after coming back to India, we are running this ISM-INDIA in cooperation with ISM-US. I'll try to combine all my experience, what I feel, but you're welcome to ask questions as many. So it's a 1-hour session. So I'll keep the last ones with Q&A. If any question, you're welcome. Now, based on my experience, I can say it's certainly a gateway to strategic impact. I never had that much impact when I was in design, manufacturing. But after moving into procurement and supply chain, I could really feel the impact was much bigger. Strategic means for the organization. I think one of the best things I can feel proud of myself, I developed UNSPS, United Nations Standard Products, which is used worldwide now. Whether you talk about Oracle, SAP, everybody does it. Second, I developed was strategic sourcing concepts around, it came from Peter Classic model, but then we implemented in the UN family. I worked around 10 companies, different work field. Then I've traveled around to 83 countries in the same concept, which I never traveled in other fields, but in procurement and supply chain, I traveled maximum. So that is what I'm saying around this is a gateway to strategic impact and global opportunity. If you would have asked me the same question 3 or 4 decades back, I'd say this is not a career. But now I see it's growing very fast. So in short, I would say it's a gateway to strategic impact and global. What I plan to cover up today is the role of procurement as a profession. All of you, some are in the procurement, some are in supply chain, some are in logistics, different fields around, but all related fields. So you are in procurement, some are called purchasing people, some are called procurement people, some are called buyer even, I can say. So the role of procurement as a profession. Why pursue this job? So I'm trying to convey my message around why should this be as a job. Procurement journey over the last 100 years. Challenges in procurement function. What are the challenges you face? Future of procurement. Do you see the future of procurement? And if it is so, in what direction it is? The changing job, I know many people come and ask me, question, I'm in pharma sector, in procurement and supply chain. Can I switch over to auto sector? Can I switch over to IT sector? So I'll certainly touch on this. I know there's a big barrier sometimes. It's a mental barrier. So from changing from one sector to another sector. Obviously, you don't want to stick with one sector. You want to try different sectors now. And now the last thing I'll touch on is where the procurement is going. You hear the politician, you hear G20, everybody talks of supply chain. While procurement is a major part of it, major pillar of it. So how is procurement moving into us? So this is where I'll try to talk on. So let me set the context. Why I've made this issue, presentations. First thing is, we get many questions. Are you seeking a dynamic and impactful career? On the career, we get many questions from many people. So if you're seeking for a good impact and dynamic career, I'll say there's nothing better than this. That offers a blend of strategy. Think of you are the head of the supply chain, or you are the head of the procurement. You're spending billions of dollars on it. Obviously, management want to know what is the strategy to cut the cost, to add the values. It's a blend of strategy. And negotiations, certainly. Any of your activities, you're dealing with in-house stakeholders, you're dealing with external stakeholders. You need to negotiate with everybody, including suppliers. So negotiation becomes a very important part. Then also comes around the you need to come with innovative ideas. I mean, the old concept of procurement or purchasing is a support function. I mean, somebody will give them the specifications, somebody will give them the list of suppliers. You only place the order and follow it. That is changing very fast. So you need to come with the innovative ideas to tell the customer, guys, we can make a change here and we will make better product. And certainly a global expert. As I said to you, I've been to around 83 countries myself. And it was because of this part. Had I been other functions, maybe in finance, others, I may not have done. It is a global expert. And particularly when you become a category manager or a strategic sourcing head of a big company, multinational, you'll be posted in maybe Singapore, Hong Kong, US, anywhere, covering the whole world. So it's a wonderful career from that. So again, I'm emphasizing, look no further. Career in procurement and supply chain might be your profile. As the world is rapidly changing, procurement is also transformed into a strategic thing. It is no more a support function. I've been to around, I've visited most of the MNCs in India also. In the past, it was a support function. I'm dealing with IT procurement. And I'm dealing with auto company. I'm dealing with pharma company. Somebody gives me the specs and name, I place an order. That was a purely boring function, I would call a support function. And now you're doing strategy, thinking wrong way. How can I do better? And that's what brings organization success in. So again, I would say, this is the reason they should consider embarking on a journey in procurement and supply chain management. I mean, you will be seeing that I'll be using the word supply chain management. I'll explain all of them later. Let's understand what procurement is. The role of procurement as a profession is essential in driving the success of any organization. I've seen companies during COVID time, if the delivery is not coming, you're not able to give the final delivery to the customer. There's a complete disruption. So procurement is very important. So when we look at procurement, we are basically focusing on obviously sourcing with the first, acquiring, and managing the goods and services, works and resources necessary for a company's operation and structure. The career path, if I look around for procurement and supply chain, it offers a blend of both strategy, negotiation, innovation, and global exposure, as I said in the very first line. For this webinar, we'll try to focus on procurement as a career and develop a roadmap to be the future head of procurement and SE. Because procurement is slowly evolving into SE. It's a part of SE, no second thought. So I'll certainly touch on it. Okay, now journey of procurement over the last 100 years. Obviously, over the 100 years, there have been advances in technologies. If you look at Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, 4, there has been big advances in technology, but much bigger in the last, I would say, around 50 years. When we look around, supply chain management concepts came around, globalization concepts came around, AI, blockchain, data analytics. So you talk of anything, automatic automations around, robotic automations around. So all these have come up. And now these are also living into globalization business. And once somebody has said very rightly, to survive in today's world, either you disrupt others or get disrupted. If you come with a better technology, efficient process around, you're disrupting your competitors because you're going forward. But if you don't change anything, you want to stay in the complacent world, then other will disrupt. So look at the very first 20th century, 1920s to 1940, the process was managed. Even till date, there are many small scale company, medium scale company. They have a manual process. Somebody will make a requisition, somebody will do the budget allocation, somebody will find suppliers, place an order, around 13, 14 steps. And the cost becomes very high. Then in 20th centuries, people came with SOPs, standard process for every step. So that if anybody may look and join the job, they follow the same step. In coming at the late of 20th centuries, ERP came. So ERP was a wonderful beginning. I had a chance to implement ERP in 2004. And before that, we didn't have anything. We were doing very manual process. And I was based in the US. So when I was looking around ERP, I was very happy. I said, guys, got a wonderful product, a wonderful activity, I'm handling it. I felt proud of myself. Okay, my education is being useful enough. Went around, trained people. But then I found later on, when I was coming to 2008 or 9, then I said, ERP, yes, it was very good. It all was standardized on requisition part is there. Purchase order is there. Payment is there. So 3 pillars are there. But between requisition and purchase order, the sourcing was not there. Then between purchase order and payment, contract management was not. So we had 3 pillars, like 3 islands. Then I thought ERP, wonderful. I was very happy. Combined as the enterprise resources, it combined very well. But then later on, after 5, 6 years, I started looking around. Guys, there are 3 islands. So those of you who are still doing ERP only, have got no e-procurement, you're not connected end to end. Sourcing is done separately, contract management is done separately, evaluation is done separately. It is not on the one platform. But the now recent years, with the cloud-based software, AI, I think everyone is moving into E. So E is the right thing to connect from end to end. So one platform. So those platforms I can easily integrate with ERP. Obviously, ERP is required for the organization because it's enterprise resource planning. So it combines all the resources. Could be sales, could be marketing, could be HR, could be finance. But for procurement, I was very proud of it in the beginning, 2004, but then at the time it came 2009, I said, no, something I missed out. My procurement people have got handicap, they have a pain point, they are not connected end to end. But now cloud-based software, AI, without that, you cannot progress. The time has come, I'll be certainly touching on a few points on that. So shift from a transactional procurement administrative role to strategic and value. So I think this is the best thing I can say now. That you are moving from a very old-fashioned support function to a very important function. And in one word, if I say around, if you make a saving, let's say companies of $100 billion. If you save out of $100 million, procurement and supply chain would be easily around 60 to 70%. Particularly manufacturing would be around 70%. Pharma could be around 50%. If I talk about service sectors, could be 50%. So you are a big share of the spend. If your share of the whole revenue, if I look around, a major spend. If you guys say 5% or 10%, it hits the bottom line. So you are very important around from that. Now coming back to guys, procurement department. So procurement people are part of the department. And this department is becoming multi-dimensional. They have to plan for the futures. If I say these are my critical suppliers, what do I do with them? These are my not critical supplier, no value, no risk supplier, what do I do? Then I have to plan for this. Where I got no suppliers, I have to try to find new suppliers. I want to create competitions. I want to cut the cost around. Management wants me to cut the cost. Management wants return on investment on my cost. If I'm spending, my office team is spending let's say 40 million, they say, guys, I want saving more than that. It's becoming multi-dimensional. It's a very challenging function nowadays. It encompasses three parts of the procurement: strategy, tactical, operation. So when I saw it in the beginning, in 70s and 80s, when I used to be in the design department, procurement was more of an operational function. Slowly it moved to tactical. But now it's becoming a very strategic one because now we have a data. Earlier, we never had a data set. I remember I had around 190 country offices around, and I was sitting in Denmark. I wanted the data of each one. It'll come after months. Then I'll combine them in a spreadsheet. And I was very proud. The spreadsheet was a good thing. But today I find spreadsheets also lost the meaning. It's becoming much more strategic. It contributes to cost savings. No second thought about it. And now the new thing has come around with the supply chain resilience. I did a session for the Japan last week. Supply chain resilience. If my supply chain is disrupted, I lose my customer. And the resilience can come to a lot extent from procurement. Yes, supply chain is covering end-to-end, but if procurement is not able to deliver me, there's a disruption of delivery, there's a disruption of supply, our supplier is locked down, supplier is closed down, that is affecting my resilience. So they are very well connected. Innovation, agility I want, and our overall organization success. The next thing, if I look around, the role continues to evolve. As I said to you, good old days, people were called buyer. Buyer means just go and run. It's a purely operational function. Then we moved into purchasing. I became a tactical function. Then from tactical also, people moved into procurement as a wider function. But now we are moving into strategy. So some people are moving into supply managers, some are moving into, so it's slowly moving with our category managers. So that's becoming slow. Okay, why consider procurement as a career? The first thing is increased disruptions, which is happening because of climate change, because of geopolitical issues, whatever reason you may think around nowadays. So procurement is starting to get recognition. I doubt anybody, even procurement guy, lost his job during COVID time. Procurement people became very important for every organization. So CPOs are becoming increasingly important. They are part of the boardroom now, sometimes. On average, as I said to you, we spend 40 to 70%. Which company can make a profit without looking at these people? So you are the one sitting on a big chunk of money. So you are the one who can help the company to save up, improve the bottom line. And if you come with an innovative product, you can help up, not the bottom line, even the top line. So both sides. It's a key pillar of supply chain management. So when I talk of supply chain, I'm looking at all the activities from end-to-end, procurement, manufacturing, logistics. So when we combine all of the, including planning and strategies, if you combine all of them, it becomes supply chain. But the major role is procurement. So from that angle, I say it's a key pillar of SCM. So it's very responsible for optimizing cost, reporting on savings, and delivering more tangible benefits. Why consider again, I'm carrying on with the same variety of the sectors that procurement comes into contact. Today you're buying MRO item. Next day you're buying services item. Third day you're buying IT softwares. Fourth, you're buying auto components. So you're dealing with different types. So this subject can never be boring. Since I have changed 10 jobs in my life, I think you can never get bored of this. In other field, one gets sometimes bored when you're doing same calculation every place. Procurement is predominantly outward. You need to be extroverted. I will say one quality which I look around for procurement people, they have to be not the introvert, they have to be extrovert. If you're not extrovert and you're sitting only in a silos, you can't grow much. And you need a business acumen. You need to have entrepreneur skills. So you need to have entrepreneur skills, business acumen, and very focus on outward factors, extrovert. Collaborate with individuals from various sectors, cross-industry experience. When you are sitting in any company, you're dealing with HR, you're dealing with legal, you're dealing with production, you're dealing with IT people, you're dealing with cross different functions. So procurement is still an extremely challenging career choice. Dealing with difficult suppliers. Think of it. If supplier you are giving it to use only one supplier, and there's a flood in that country around, supplier is not able to deliver you for next 3 months, you have a tough time. In any company, you look around, procurement people are the last one to go home. So difficult of working through a company mergers will be tested. Procurement job, if I look around, if you're passionate about helping others, enjoy putting knowledge to use in the real world, I think this is a wonderful career because you are getting in touch with the external world, with suppliers. Suppliers are giving you a lot of good ideas, and then you are giving the same to the design people, giving to the customers. So you have a lot to do. So the job as known as procurement management or supply management will allow you to work with different types of things. Many benefits choosing this career path. There are also several considerations before you make your decision. So it looks very exciting, very good career, but before you make it, you have to see whether you are having the right DNA to get into this. Highlights of procurement job, as I said to you very beginning, strategic influence. If that influence, somebody comes with the good ideas around and you're able to cut the cost, you have big influence. I remember my first job in Tata's. I was not in procurement and supply chain. I was a designer. I designed a product made of brass and chrome plating. And my procurement guy, who was a simple, you can say, buyer, he got in touch with the supplier. And supplier said, why are you using brass? Why don't you use ABS and chrome plated? And the cost went down. I'm talking of 72, my first job. The price went from 35 rupees to 17 rupees. And we were buying 1 million pieces. Then finally, when it came to me in the design, and the design people, we are very conservative. So then I had to say, okay, let's give a small trial. It worked very well. I mean, that guy had a bigger influence than my design. He could say much more. Global outlook. Continuous learning. You're learning all the time. If you're only pushing for delivery is one thing, but if you're meeting suppliers, talking to various suppliers, you learn. When I was implementing ERP, it was a project of around $75 million. And then I got in touch with JD Edwards. I got in touch with all the companies around, talked to them hours and hours. I learned a lot. So this is where I feel around this continuous problem solving. I remember the case when the Nokia and Ericsson, they used to buy for the mobile phone, chip was coming from Philips. And Philips caught fire. What do we do? Come on, guys. Procurement people are the ones, they find solutions. Negotiation mastery. Ethical impact. And because they are sitting on the piles of money, but then if they're ethically very good, I think there is a big impact. Career progression. Innovation tactics. So you can imagine around the job is very challenging for those who really want to make a benefit. But those who want to be a support function, it's a different ball. About procurement as a careers, I think I can skip this because we have covered quite a lot of good points. So why again procurement as a career? So procurement is always needed. Any company you think around, you can't outsource that. You can outsource manufacturing. Look at the best successful example is Apple, a company of top company in the world. I mean, its valuation is around more than $2 trillion. What do? A good design, and then from design to this, supply chain manager looks at end to end. And that person has become the CEO now, Tom Cook. So you can imagine around, it's a wonderful job. Key role player, good salaries. So no routine, no boring job. You can always create more work when you come to the strategic function. Strong connection. You need so many suppliers. You have your own network of people who are buying and a good connection with it. And then you can have a possibility to develop this. Let's say I come from the college, I've never done any negotiation. I meet a supplier. Then I talk to them. I'm able to achieve something, 20% reduction, 30% reduction, get delivery faster, make a good friendship. So this is how you tone your skills. Fast-growing carriers. If you're able to bring more saving, nobody can keep you back. Let's say, guys, come on, we'll grow your career much faster. Always something new. I don't think you'll ever have a boring one day, you have a wonderful time. Next day, you think supplier is troubling you. Third day, something else is troubling you. So you always have something new. And you find a solution for all of it. And you're spending others' money. By spending others' money, you're learning. So that's where you're getting entrepreneur skill. If I look at as a whole trends, the story started from price. In the good old days, 70s, 80s, everything was get 3 quotations, lowest price. I know the public sector still goes on, but there also it is changing. So price, then we moved around to the cost management. Then you say, guys, price is not important to me. I want to see the total cost of it. I'm getting a goods from X company, or Y, or Z company. One, price is lower, but consume more of electricity. Or when it comes for shipment, the shipment cost is higher. So you have to look at the cost. Strategic sourcing, I think I've seen in the last 10 years since I've been in India now, strategic sourcing is picking up very fast. Every company is slowly moving into strategy. And the next step is coming as a category. I mean, sourcing is there, but then sourcing is becoming strategy. That we know since you have a data of the last year, you have a demand plan for this year, then you know very well, these items I'm buying on a regular basis. These are the items where I got a concern on my supply. I have only one supplier. If this supplier ditches me, I'm in trouble. So you're moving into strategy. Then we find within the company, if I've got 10 strategic buyer, some of them may be buying from the same company. So that's what we're moving into category. So club them item of similar nature into one category. So more the money, you're having a bigger, you can say, power for negotiation. Now slowly we are moving into the value part. And the value is more than the cost. If somebody gives me good innovative ideas around, delivery is cut down. So all these things are leading into value. So value means getting more function for the same cost. So if I'm able to get more functions, that means I'm moving into the value part. Look at this one. Now, if you look at the emphasis 20 years back, which I saw, focus was price. I know still price is important. Don't undermine that point around. Price is important, no second thought. But then 3 years ago, if I say before COVID-19, the focus started around cut the cost down, risk down, value up, innovation up. But today, when we look around, after we are over with the COVID-19, we have the geopolitical issues going around, Ukraine war, anything in the world around. Today, we are looking at the security of supply. Is the supply secure? I've seen many procurement heads around doing excellent job. Suddenly, one supplier ditches them. The whole production comes to a standstill. Then from hero to they become zero. So you have to secure the supply. That's why the arrow is upward. You have to focus. And then you also have to mitigate price. I mean, we see worldwide. All commodity prices are going up. So when commodity prices are going up, if copper ore is going up, the copper pipe will also go up, copper rods will go up. So then you have to cut this. How do we cut this? Can I design it again differently? Can I change the materials around? So mitigate the price. Sustainable supply. Now this word is picking up, even the G20, which was recently there. Sustainability, sustainability, sustainability. So soon you're going to get the government guidelines in most of the countries around. So Paris Declaration was there earlier. Now we have G20 Declaration. Sustainable, sustainable. Our suppliers, how much carbon footprint they have? How much social injustice they have? So all the data are becoming important for you to become a good company. So this is where the focus is: sustainability, security, and beauty. So don't undermine the previous one also. So they also stay, but these are the today extra focus on. Now the key challenge is the way we look at it. So procurement, while a rewarding career path, it comes with its challenges. It's not a fun game. You can't say, okay, guys, no, I've gone to the procurement, I've become the CPO, or I've become chief supply chain, now I can relax. No. It's a challenging job. Globalization first. So when I look around any companies, the last week we were doing for one company in Poland. So that company is a part of the company in the US. So now we're trying to, and they've got around 100 offices worldwide. So globalization means they're trying to see which item we can consolidate. Same thing is happening in the oil industry, everywhere around. So consolidation is coming around. Globalization is coming around. If I'm buying same item for my 57 plants, can I combine it to get a better sale? Supply chain complexity is also growing. I mean, earlier I would say we had one supply chain hub, mainly was in China's, but now that is also changed. So now we are coming to supply chain hub in each region. So that means, again, there are going to be different types of supplier relationship management, SRM. Nobody talked about it 20 years back. Now SRM is becoming a very hot topic. So when I went in the US and study around my business school, nobody talked of SRM. Everybody talked of CRM. But nobody of SRM. Now the concept which come from Asia, I would say, again come from Japan, who is a leader on this part. So that means relationship is equally important. You can't treat supplier like a doormat. And you know very well success and failure of you depends on supplier. If you get a good supplier, you are the hero. But if you get a bad supplier, everybody say, oh, you could not deliver it, you could not, it's not you, it's supplier, but since you are dealing with the supplier, you get a bad name. So SRM is becoming very, very important part. Cost management, budget constraints, risk management. So risk part also before 2008, we didn't say much about it, to be honest. When the recession started in the US in 2008, that's the time people saying, guys, anything can happen anytime. So we talked about the risk management. I remember the time when we were outsourcing our IT activities. First question I was asked by my management, how are you ensuring the continuity? So that means risk management, the BCP. I can see most of your companies are having a focus on BCP. Ethical, sustainability concerns. Sustainability has become equally important now. Technology and data management. Organization alignment. Procurement was not treated as a part of the organization, to be honest. Many places, it was a part of finance. But today, procurement, since they cover the big chunk of spend, they need to align themselves with the top management. They have to understand what are the organization goals. So based on the organization goals, they have to come up with their own goals, their own strategy, talent development. Now, when the demands are growing so fast, you can't live with the old talent. You need to train them up. Otherwise, they will leave the job. They go to somewhere else. Continuous improvement, regulatory compliance, all these are coming in a big compliance. The key role is the broad job, if I look around in procurement, is strategic sourcing management, category management, supply chain risk management. Sustainability is going to be the new jobs now. And big companies already have started having a person whose job is focusing on sustainability. Technology integration, supplier relationship management. So this is where SRM is also, you need a person who can train everybody around how to build the relationship. Data-driven decision making. Earlier, the data was never. When I implemented ERP, all the acquisitions are going, but then all purchase orders are there. But if I want to see what has happened about the sourcing part, no data. Contract management, no data. Chief procurement officers, or maybe the next one could be your chief supply chain management officer. So different roles are there. Talent and skills development. The future of procurement will require a diverse set of skills. If you can't live with the old thing, old was very simple. Somebody gives you the name of the suppliers, or you know the name of the supplier because you have been buying for the last 10 years from the same supplier. But today you need different type of skills. Adaptable, tech savvy you have to be. You cannot think of a procurement without AI nowadays. And process, strong analytical capacity, problem-solving skills. In top of it, you need soft skills. How do you communicate? In writing and verbal, both. I will rank them as the number one soft skill, which is important. How do you communicate? Emotional intelligence, reading other people's mind. You're dealing with the supplier. You're dealing with your customer. You're dealing with the stakeholders. How do you read what is happening in their mind? Or if you are in their shoes, what will happen? Cultural awareness. Since you're becoming a global nowadays, the procurement you're setting as a category manager in X country or Y country, and you're dealing with all the plants worldwide, you need to have a cultural awareness. And effective collaboration and negotiation. Skills and competence. Here comes, okay, I want to get into this career, but what skills I need? I know I tried to put big list around here. The first thing I'm putting the technical skills, then soft skills, and specific competence. Specific competencies will be different sectors. If I'm working in pharma, I need different. If I'm dealing with auto, I need different. I'm dealing with IT, I need different. But technical skills and the soft skills. So technical skills is across the board same. Market analysis. How do I analyze the market? The knowledge of the market. The trends which are happening in the market. Capability to negotiate. And if I want to negotiate, how do I negotiate? Should I say, just give me 10% discount? I should be able to convince someone why I want a lower price. Contract management. So the contractor's got many risks. Contractor's got various concerns around how do I manage it? Supplier management. I have to manage supplier. I have only one supplier. Or even if I have got choices, but my time left is very short, I have to ensure delivery. Managing. But supplier management earlier used to be only tier 1. But now the tier 1 is buying from tier 2. Tier 2 is buying from tier 3. And down the line, you find the person who's giving the raw material is closed down. So tier 1 is not able to give you. Because the whole concept of manufacturing is changed. Even service sector is changed. Even the pharma sector is changed. Earlier, we used to do everything in-house. Now, everybody is trying to outsource. Even the IT companies, they don't do every work themselves. They outsource to others. And then the company to whom they outsource to third company. So that is why contract management is becoming complex. Supplier management is also becoming. ERP and procurement software, cost analysis, and data. So time is not far that when you will need 1 or 2 people in every procurement team or supply chain team whose job will be to do data analysis. The data is the power. The data is the new oil. So that means if I want to do analyze, I need data, and data should be very. When I was looking around for 190 countries, what price they are paid, let's say in X country in Kenya, other one is from Nigeria, third one is say in Afghanistan, fourth is in India. What price each one is paying for the same item? How do I analyze it? So that means I need the data set. And that time I used to get a data after months and months. But now I can get data with the press of a button. That's what we call data analysis. And I can compare it. Soft skill, certainly very important, effective communications. This side, I feel procurement people are a little left behind. When we look at the marketing people, how they communicate, maybe they are trained like our writing skills will not even greet anybody. Straightway we'll write first line, oh, we are not very happy with this. With that type of answers, you can't build relationship with supplier. So we need to improve our skill and communication in writing and writing. Negotiations, very important. Problem solving. Don't sit back. Some people think problem, solution means time is a solution. Time is not a solution. The problem has come today, you have to solve it today. If you think, let me wait for 1 week, it will automatically go, no. It will become much more risky. Analytical thing. Teamwork. Collaboration with your internal stakeholders, collaboration with external stakeholders, everyone. So you should be very good at a diplomatic way dealing with everything. Time management, meticulous in handling contracts. You should be able to see, guys, this contract I'm having a clock. This milestone is behind by 2 months. How do I handle this? So that is what we need, people, spontaneous answers. Then we need competencies in strategic thinking, who are long-term thinkers. If I joined a job, I'll say, guys, I'm doing pretty fine. I'm working 12 hours a day, morning. What does it mean? Am I going to do like this slaving whole day? No. You have to be strategically thinking, how can I cut down? How can I improve my work? Leadership skill. People with whom you are dealing, they should not treat you that you are just a support function. They should treat you that you are a leader also. SRM, continuous improvement. So anything which we look around when we go as a consultant to any companies, if anything is 5 years old, we say, guys, change it. Standard operating procedures, change it. Old processes. I remember the case one company we visited in Bhopal. I said, guys, how much time you take from requisition till placement of order? He said, 40 days. Then I said, how much time you give to the supplier? He said, 7 days. I said, guys, first you improve yourself. That means we have to improve within the procurement functions. So that means that there's a lot of wastage in the process. Too many signatures, too many approvers. Can we cut down? Can we change it? The last, ethics and compliance. Lastly, I would put on the industry-specific knowledge. We need to know the trends, what is happening. If I'm working in IT sector, I'm working in the pharma, I'd like to know what changes are happening. Is more and more outsourcing going on? If I think company like Ford, General Motors in the US, everything is outsourced except assembly. Are we going in the same track? Are we going to bring it back to the office and start making ourselves? Or even some functions also, nowadays recruitment functions, training functions, people are outsourcing. Challenges. So whenever outsource goes up, the role of procurement and supply chain goes up. So keep in mind, more outsourcing means more importance for you people. This is another one which people say that, guys, with more increased outsourcing, it's becoming like a T-shaped space. Like a T. The upper one is very broad. The vertical is very deep. The broad means if I say around, see, in the past, every procurement person went through the same training in a very generic way. Everybody went through the same generic training. But now we say, guys, no, we need people who are empathetic negotiation design. Empathetic means you put yourself into the shoes of the supplier, the shoes of your own customer. Analytical and strategic. You analyze it and then strategically switch what I want to do. Soft skill, collaborations, sustainable sourcing, which is now taking a big way. But the functional part, you cannot ignore it. You have to be expert on something. So even if you are in procurement or supply chain, let's say today I'm dealing in a pharma, I have to know the product which I'm buying. If I'm buying IT equipment, I don't know what is RAM, what is hard drive, what is this. What can I do procurement? So the function side also, you need to have a very good knowledge, either by education or by some people are smart, they pick up very fast. I'm dealing in a medical supplies. I have to understand the formulas. So the other one, if I'm dealing with IT side, or even auto side, or any activities around, I need a functional knowledge also. Industry-specific subject. So keep in mind, let's say somebody has come with an IT background and has all the upper skills, will do a better job in IT procurement. So functional competency is picking up. That's what the need is coming down. So you might have come from business school, you might have come from engineering, you might have come from finance. That becomes your functions. Transition from procurement to SA. Now, next thing comes around, guys. Why everybody's talking about procurement to SA? And this is happening. Transition is quite common, often a natural progression for individuals who have gained experience. If you've done a lot of experience procurement, say, now I want to be the leader of supply chain. Broad understanding of supply chain. So when I say supply chain means, I'm talking of a system of organization from beginning to end, including logistics, including inventory management. So one side is a customer, one side is a supplier. I'm connecting the whole end to end. That's my chain. And managing the chain will effectively become supply chain management. So broad understanding of the supply chain, cross-functional collaborations, leadership and management skills, strategic thinking, analytical thinking, continuous learning. That you have to keep in mind. I could say, since I've seen now 5 decades in this world around, in the good old days, people used to grow by age. But not now. People need learning on new things all the time. Even my office also, I tell them, guys, start using AI. So I think we are all moving in that direction around networking and professional development as well. Just let me give you how this whole story has started. 60s, all these functions were independent functions. Demand forecasting, there's a one team around. Sourcing was a separate team. Requirement planning was separate team. Production planning was a separate guy. All were reporting maybe to the head of the finance. But then they were all fragmented. So fragmented in 1980s, the consolidation started. Even before 80s, I could see many companies had got materials management. Even till today, many public sector you will find they call materials management. So materials management is one which combine all the upper function into one. Warehousing, packaging, physical distribution. Then in 90s, we had integration of logistics with this. Now, since the IT is very good, in 60s and 80s, we were not connected. The functions were not connected. Now, all the functions are connected through internet. And if you've got a one platform, every information is available with the press of a button. So now we are coming into supply chain. So supply chain management is nothing but integration of all these activities which you see under 60s. Procurement, logistics. If you are the head of the supply chain manager, you are dealing with end-to-end. It is not only procurement, you're dealing with inventory management, you're dealing with warehousing, you're dealing with logistics, you're also dealing with the planning of the whole chain. And major money goes into procurement. So procurement, I feel, is the right people to move in this. So this integration is happening around some sector much more, like in manufacturing, I would say much more. IT also is coming around. So anybody who's doing more outsourcing, I think the direction is this. So procurement versus supply chain. So procurement is an integral part of SCM. In fact, if procurement is often considered as a primary function. Now, SCM, if I say around interconnected function, both are very interconnected. If I'm dealing with the supply chain management, but somebody has to give me the goods. Somebody has to get the services. Who gets it? Procurement people. Now, SCM is comprising the end-to-end planning, sourcing, producing, delivering, return. But planning and sourcing is coming from procurement people. Complementary roles. The very first step of supply chain is procurement. Other SCM functions like logistics and distribution heavily depends on procurement. If you look around many companies I've seen, logistics also reports to procurement. Transportation, they take care of. They place the contracts in. So in short, many functions procurement is going around, but the title is still called procurement, but they may love to call SCM. Now, procurement, again, if we go to the third one, impact on overall performance. If efficient procurement practices can lead to cost savings, improved qualities, SRM is the next one, risk management, common goals. The goal is common, customer satisfaction. So if I'm a buyer or I'm a procurement person, my customer is only in-house, but the supply chain is looking customer even outside, till end. But the purpose is same. So next come key skills for growth. I would say two things are put around presentation, analytical skills. If your presentation skills are poor, nobody will take you seriously. You can communicate their ideas through a wide range of formats. That's what I will try to focus on. If anybody is thinking of a growth in procurement or supply chain, these two skills you have to really pick up. Now, pursuing procurement and supply chain. Okay, guys, keeping in mind the time, let me go quick on this. Career landscape. Demand for professionals. Increasing a lot. Strategic function. Globalization. And the last is diverse industries. Future outlook. If I want to say around advanced analytics and AI. Strategic focus. Sustainability and social responsibility. I know this was the low-lying things around sustainability part, but now after G20 and I'm sure other Paris Declaration, this is becoming a very high. AI is also coming up in many activities. if I want to see what is happening to my delivery, what is happening to this. With the press of a button, I can find what is the status of it. So that's also important. Career progression. Yeah. Guys, I'll just take 10 minutes, 15, then we can have questions. No way. So entry-level roles, procurement analyst, purchasing coordinators, supply chain coordinators. Mid-level roles are procurement managers, category managers, supply chain managers. And at the senior level, we could have director of procurement, chief supply chain officers, or VP of the supply chain. So this is how I look around from the data, what I've come across. Specializations, I think already I told you, people could specialize in the category management. It's a very advanced function, SRM, logistics, and distributions. Now, what education is required? I know some raised the question before I started this presentation. Normally, procurement people have come from different backgrounds. Look around, if you ask anybody, how did you landed up in procurement? Do you love this profession? Even I also did say, hey, I was in a production, I was in design, then in the MBA, then I found not a bad idea. Supply chain is good. Everybody's outsourcing, let me move into it. And then you start loving it. I'm sure it happened with most of you saying. And there were no strict educational requirement in the past. So now having a relevant education background can give you competitive edge. That's all I can say. So if you have a bachelor's degree, it could be in commerce, engineering, BBAs, it's fine. Master's degrees certainly nowadays are available in procurement, SCM, and certification helps you. Because the things are changing too fast. If you do certification AI, you do certification on blockchain, you do on a category management, which is not taught in a master's degree at all. You learn by experience. But if you do a degree or certification, it basically helps to demonstrate your commitment to the field and showcases your expertise. So from ISM-INDIA, yes, there are 2, 3 others also, but I think ours is very well known, set up in 1915, 108 years back. And we are the oldest one in 70 countries. It's called CPSM, Certified Professional Supply Management. We also have strategy developments. Skills required to advance in your careers. Be attentive. So you have to be there around, be attentive, learn and observe other people. If you're working in any company and you feel your senior people who are occupying senior level than you, look at them. I think you will learn a lot. Observe what the person occupying the highest in career path does. Interpersonal skill. So you need a very good skill how to communicate in-house and outside. Leadership skill, organizations. That means how do you manage your task around? You get so many tasks, some people get confused. You go on the table, you'll find piles of papers. So they're not able to decide what to do first. So that means you need to have very good organizational skill and curiosity to learn. And curiosity to observe others who are growing faster than you. I think that part is very, very important in your career. Switching job, if you want to move from one career to another sector, some skills are transferable. I'm working in pharma. I want to go into auto. From auto, I want to go to IT sector. I want to go into. I need transformation skill. Industry knowledge is required. If you don't have industry knowledge, they will not hire you. If you are coming from, let's say, IT background, if I want to hire you in auto, I'll say, why should I hire you? You need to have industry. So that part is equally important. Professional development. Highlight relevant experience in the resume. Leverage your professional network. Be adaptable. Seek guidance. So guidance part certainly is very good. If some of you want from us, we'll be very happy to support you. Without any cost, you can write to us. We'll be happy to support you. Practical tips, I would say, remember career in procurement requires not only academic. Some people say, I've done PhD. Who cares? It's a combination of soft skills and communication, negotiation, problem solving, and teamwork. So teamwork is equally important. As you progress in your career, continuous learning. And continuous learning means getting more certification. So we have wide range of these certifications. So you can take the benefit of them. We do conduct webinars very frequently on different topics. You can go to the website, doesn't cost you anything. Go to our ISM-INDIA YouTube, you'll find more than 200 topics we have covered. Staying updated with industry. Networking with professionals. I think it helps. Actually, we are doing in many places. We're in Bangalore, we're in Mumbai. We call community of practice. So we are doing with the help of Reliance also in the month of December. So you're welcome, those who are in Mumbai, other places, they are welcome to join us. So networking also we try to encourage. Paving the way to the success, setting clear goals and achieving them. Demonstrate your capabilities. Let everybody knows, guys, you are saving more than what your salary. Nothing wrong. Don't have to be too humble. If you have made so much saving of the organization, be outspoken. Understanding the organization structure, culture, overall procurement process. Build relationship. Segmentation process. Learn the industry and strategy. Identifying low-hanging fruits. Sometimes what happens, we take up some most difficult thing and we fail. Then everybody pinpoints to you, you did this, you failed. So I would say start with the low-hanging fruits, quick wins, demonstrate that you are capable. Then everybody has a faith in you and then you go for it. So don't start with a tough job beginning. So those who are starting their career, you have to be careful. To make a difference in your career, you need education, experience, and exposure. If I've got education, but I've never done any relationship building, I've never done negotiation, I have no experience how to do the job, you need experience. And that part is certainly important. Our commitment, if I say, we are committed to educating and empowering the profession to excel in their careers around. We do this through mentoring. So those people who are our members, we do mentoring, guidance, free, comprehensive courses are there around. Upskilling teams are there around. And next I'm saying around is a well-rounded approach to upskilling requires teams to drive sustainable health, ethical practices, and cultivate a resilient supply chain. The supply chain should not get disrupted because procurement is the one who's providing the goods. Closing remarks is the last slide for me. The procurement and supply chain offers a dynamic and evolving suite. It's evolving. 5 years back, nobody talked about the AI. Now, wherever meeting, we have a meeting around in Japan, I had last week around, everybody's talking about AI. How can I use AI in my supplier selection? Now people are saying, guys, can I have different database combined together? And then I just say in my own language, can you give me the list of suppliers? And computer should give me the list of suppliers. I've got a Thomas Register, I've got a Compass, I've got Alibaba, all databases I combine together. Then I tell them, guys, like an Alexa, Alexa, can you give me the list of suppliers for this? So things are changing very, very fast. You cannot be left behind. Additionally, an emphasis on sustainability. In the last career in procurement with many benefits to encourage you to grow as a specialist and able to succeed in the industry. Well, friend, with this, let's move on. As I know it's a big career. Thank you all for your patient hearing. Okay, now the last Q&A. If anybody wants to ask any question, I'm open to that. Yes, I could see Ankur or someone's, Arvind, anyone's, guys, and I can see on the chat box. Any question, guys, if I'm missing?
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can the participants, if you're having any question, you can drop in chat box or please unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello,
Okay,
sir.
so one, yeah.
Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah,
Hello?
audible very much. Karthik, go ahead.
Yeah,
Uh,
sir.
Ankit this side. Hello.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Yes,
So shall I
yeah,
start?
go ahead, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So my question is that I'm from engineering background, and my specialty is civil engineering. But from in last 3 to 4 years, I have been doing in procurement activities as in major projects which are being funded by World Bank and IFAD, International Funds for Agriculture Development.
Yeah.
But as yet, I don't have any major certificate or any degree which proves my procurement skills in terms of education wise. So, can you suggest me a proper certification course which I can opt for as of now to be called as a procurement specialist in terms of education or certification wise? Not, I have the experience, but the major part, the certificate, I don't have that yet. So, can you suggest something like that?
Ankit, you touched a very good point around because the World Bank is also changed their public procurement philosophy from a
Yes, sir.
tactical function to a strategic function. So public, now since they have become very strategic, civil engineering knowledge is very good. I'm not questioning that part. But on the procurement skill side, you need to do some certification from the World Bank, which we are doing it. Again, ISM does it with the help of the World Bank. So, which is
Yes.
available. Ria can give you the details around. Second, I would say that we do every third month a program of 10 days.
Okay, sir.
Program of 10 days, which covers all the topics of procurement of public. So those
Okay.
who go through it, they get a certificate of participation. Those who pass the exam with 70%, they get a certificate of appreciation. So I think we
Okay,
can
sir.
give you both the details on this area.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yes, Mohammed.
yes, good afternoon to all.
Yes,
Sir, I have a question. Sir.
please.
It's me from Bangladesh, Mohammed Munirjaman.
Yes,
Sir, I have completed my graduation from uh, soil science.
okay.
And then I have done MBA in major in marketing, and recently I have completed a master's in procurement and supply chain from Brack University in Bangladesh. I am working for government of Bangladesh last 15 years, and last 7 years I have working here with procurement, all procurement like manual and electronic or electronic government procurement system. But in my country, the procurement related job is area is very narrow, I think. Nowadays, very narrow, and worldwide, maybe it's a wide portion, or the space is very wide for a procurement consultant or procurement related job. But in many cases, I have listened to my senior or other people from abroad. They said if you don't MSIPS degree, MSIPS certified, uh, uh, so you cannot develop your career in this, because MSIPS certified, there are many number of now in people in the world. So, what is the true situation or real situation, sir, do you think regarding this issue?
Okay, no, I think you very rightly touched on. You have a very good background as a soil engineering, then others, MBA you've done around. Now, the area which you are dealing is a very narrow area, you're saying. Challenges are not much. Am I right? This is what you're feeling around. Now, if you want to grow up, certainly you have to show something. I mean, showcase your knowledge. And showcase some knowledge, you can't say, guys, oh, I'm doing procurement of this and this. My volume is around $1 billion or $2 billion. You have to showcase what changes you are able to bring around. And now I can understand around government sector, changes bringing is not easy. So if you're very ambitious guy, then you have to look for a job outside. Plus, you have to, but for doing outside, you need to have certification. Because like you have got a good education, but there may be other one also like that. So when they select the people, they want a person who has got some certification to prove if this guy is better qualified than that. So certification, what you said around, we have level 1, level 2, level 3, 4, 5, 6. Earlier used to be the 5 level and 6. And now they come with the 6 also. So I'll leave it to you. I mean, if you feel that is important, but I think not necessarily you have to go with the level 6. You could go with other certifications, which are as good as all international. So today, there are 3 certifications. One is from the ISM, one is from SIPS, and the third one comes from APEX at the highest level.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
All
much.
are global RSC.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, Karthik.
Sir, yeah, Karthik here from UK. Sir, actually, I have a prior experience for the last 8 years in project management. Okay, so along with the project management, I dealt with many suppliers to initiate the projects in terms of sourcing. So I mentioned my prior experience as a sourcing cum procurement engineer or sourcing cum project engineer. Is it the right way to mention and showcase my profile to enter into the procurement domain? I mean, to enter completely into the procurement domain.
No, you are in the project management. Project management is as good as supply chain because you're connecting end to end to complete the project. So
Yeah.
like supply chain covers end to end, project management also covers end to end. And procurement is even a part of project management. Some places we call project management procurement. So it's nothing wrong. You can say project manager, but I do specialize on the procurement. So that's okay. People understand.
Okay. Yeah, okay, sir. But it's a kind of a service sector, right? Because I don't have any
service
experience.
Sector, I would say project managers have more chances to move into procurement. No worry.
Okay. So should I need to focus only on the service sector or in the manufacturing sector for my future career?
Depends on which place you are based around. If manufacturing, there are jobs going. I mean, so far the jobs are all in the IT sector. But now the jobs are coming in a big way in manufacturing.
Okay. Okay, sir. And one more question, sir. Sorry for taking a long time. So how to analyze the market trends? Is there any particular way to analyze the future market trends about the products or the services which we are going to deal with?
Here, I would put it this way around. We call PMI, Procurement Index. So that index gives you some idea around which sector is growing fast. So I think I can share with you the PMI. She is also in the team now. So she can share with you the PMI for goods and services. So if my goods are going up and which sector is going up, I think that also we can provide you the feedback.
Okay.
If I say manufacturing is going up, which manufacturing is going? Is it auto sector? Is it this sector? Is it that sector? So I think we can do the same way on the services we can do.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, thank you so much for insightful presentation. Sir, I am having a question that if somebody has just asked, which is the certified course, means if somebody has do not degree in procurement or something, if somebody has joined the procurement from other background. Sir, I have seen that in ISM, there are too many certified courses are there. Could you please suggest some important or initial, maybe useful, if somebody doesn't want to go for too many courses, and if you can suggest some of them which really we should start with that.
Okay, I think that's a very right point, Rachi. Everybody has to see their own SWOT and strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. Let's say I'm in a particular job. I know my strengths are these are good. I have a weakness here, but based on the strength and weakness, let's say strength and weakness, we look around your education, we look around how many years you have done on the job around, what achievements you have done, what you love in that profession. So once we know the strength, then we also want to know your weakness part. Then we can bridge the gap, guys. You need a competency on this. So I would say to start with, I will always advise people e-certification, which is economical, not very costly, but very effective, I would say. It's called CPP, and that is given by ISM-INDIA. But once you feel you're done very well on CPP, and you have become the senior manager or manager, then you should plan for CPSM, not to begin with. CPSM is very demanding. success rate is only 50% or 60% hardly. So I would say to start with a very basic certification. And once you feel, yes, certification will help you, and now you have become the manager, and now you want to go to the next level, then you can plan CPS. But once you become the senior manager, you don't need certification. Let me be also honest with you. You know, once you become a senior merchant, then you learn by experience or attending webinars around. Webinar itself gives you ideas around attending some conferences around. Like we are having a conference on 22nd.
Yes, I
We
enrolled
are
for
having-
that.
Yeah. So this is the place where you learn around. Similarly, we have a conference in, again, November, which is award ceremony also. So I think that's a place to learn around. Go to conference, network with people, be a member of a good institution. Like if you want to be our member, then you will have other people like you. Talk to them on WhatsApp group. And you learn from each other. Half the knowledge we get from our friends.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm having another short question. Sir, this Lean and Six Sigma. Sir, I've been hearing about this Lean and Six Sigma certified, maybe green belt, yellow belt, black belt, and master black belt. So, sir, if somebody, I'm not from manufacturing or this production company, I'm from a design consultancy organization. So, is it beneficial for a person like me?
Okay, I will have to little bit know more because, but never mind. In a broad sense, I would say the lean concepts again came from Japan.
Yes.
Basically, Toyota was the first one. Come with the lean, guys. Don't keep inventory. Inventory is a waste. Money is blocked. So every item, if I'm doing production after lunch, my inventory will come only in the morning. I will not block it. So that lean concepts now slowly going away. Because after the COVID, everybody thought, guys, we can't survive on a lean. So we have to be just like, so we need some backup all the time. So lean is there around, but it's not very powerful nowadays.
Okay.
The good old days, everybody was teaching lean. Certification was helping you, but not now. Similarly, Six Sigmas, very good for them. I would say around manufacturing sectors, particularly if you are in the production. If you feel the rejection rate is very high, I want to cut my rejection rate, then Six Sigma's belts are very important. Or you are in a project management stage, so then certainly this may help. But depends on the area what you are. I think once I know, maybe you can write us separately. I will certainly happy to guide you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, anyone else?
Hello, sir. Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yes, last one. Okay, good.
Yeah, actually, recent days, it has been observed that mainly the recruiter are asking for engineering background from engineer for any position in the supply chain management or in the procurement. Okay. But I have the graduation degree and I have 25 years of experience in the supply chain management. Like I'm starting from warehousing, distribution, and procurement. And I have also seen taking care of this production planning. Now I'm looking the logistics in the Nokia. But everywhere nowadays, any position is opening for, I've looked at this basic background is required for the BE engineering. Okay. But I have done the graduation and MBA. Okay. But I cannot apply for that best because I have not this BE engineering. I have the diploma. So what is your view in this?
I think you're right. It depends on the company where you're going. If you're going into a company which is purely, let's say IT services, they will look for a person who is IT engineer, then has supply chain knowledge, has a procurement knowledge. They feel, I showed the one slide around T type. So T means upper one is a broad. Then you have a vertical column. The vertical column is deep knowledge of a subject. So that is where people are feeling that if they have to do a leadership role, they need to know the subject very well. So, but if you are from the business side, you said the business side, you've done BBA. So once you're done BBA, you could go into those companies where I think the analytics are very important. The cost analysis is very important.
Right, sir.
So I think one has to find which sector you can fit that. But if you're going to hardcore engineering, yes, then their supply chain, they will look for that company.
Right, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bimal. Again,
Thank you.
I want to thank you all guys for the patient hearing. But anyway, this does not end our show today. So you can still send all the questions to Ria and we'll get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Anything also you want to talk around, Ria can coordinate with me. I'll be happy to talk. Okay, friends, enjoy the day. It's a weekend again, so let me hold you for a
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santanu.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye,
sir.
everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Powerful presentation.
So
Thank
kind.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, my friend. Enjoy the day. Get back to us any help you need.
Bye.
Thank you
So much for the good presentation, sir. You are highly welcome.
So kind of you. It encourages me much.